Okay, this approach to what we are going to do is we are going to first of all so we are going to make use of the anonymous inner class. So here the one we have the C1 we have the interface. So we have the C1 class which has the C1 method with the parameter as an interface, not any ordinary parameter. So using this interface we are calling the myInterface method. So the method present inside this interface. Okay. So that's the thing. So what we're going to do is we are not going to create the implementation class just like an approach one what we have done. So instead, what we are going to do is we are going to create a main method. Let me create a main method. Say class. I will say app. Okay, approach to, and this is the main class. Let me click OK. So first of all, directly I'm going to create the object for the C1. So to call the C1 method. So I got the object for the C1. So using this C1, let me call the method known as C1 method. So inside this C1 method, if you look at this thing, it's looking for an interface. It's looking for an interface. So what I'm going to do is, so as it needs an interface, I'm going to follow an approach. So for the inner class, anonymous inner class, so what we need to do is, you need to see, let me provide interface name. Create the object for it, my interface. So interface, let me create the closing and starting bracket. Okay. So once I create this coding starting packet, let me place my cursor there and add the unimplemented methods. So you can see, so it has added the unimplemented methods, and inside it, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write my, so whatever I want, I'm going to write here. I will say in a class. So let me save this and run it again. Let me run here. So this should print this is anonymous in a class. So let me tell you what exactly is happening in the background. Okay, I'm going to delete everything. So what's happening is I have created the object for the C1. So using the C1, I'm calling the method present in it, that is C1 method. So inside it, it's looking for an interface. As it is looking for an interface, what I've done is, so you can also see what interface it's looking for. It's looking for my interface. Okay. So what I'm going to do is inside it. So I'm going to say new and space, then again say control space. When I say control space, it's asking for the, you can see it's saying anonymous inner type. So I'm going to click it. When I click it, it's going to create the anonymous inner class along with its overridden method. So if it has a one method, it's going to override one method. If it's going to have two methods, it's going to override two methods. So let me remove the semicolon and see I don't have any issues. So let me remove something here and add something inside this overridden method. I'm going to say anonymous inner class. I'm going to say again and control run and run it again. So see, we got this message. So this is how we write the anonymous inner class. Let's say that my interface has the two methods. Let's say that yeah, I say method 2. Let me add one more method. I will say method 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have the three methods. So I'm going to come here Yes, you can see I got some error here. Let me place my cursor and add unimplemented methods. See, automatically all the unimplemented methods got added. Method interface 2, method interface 3. So, so we can call the, so with this we got to not, so any method which has a parameter is known as the interface, then definitely we need to make use of the anonymous inner class. Okay, and then call the directly place it. So the main, if you look at this thing, so the anyone who looks at this thing feels little difficult in understand. So here, readability wise, the anonymous inner classes are little complex. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, till now we have seen the C1 method, which is taking one interface. Let's say that it's taking two interfaces. Okay, let's say it has two parameters as a two different interfaces. Okay, or else I will do one thing. I will delete everything. Let me create a new package. Okay, I'm going to save this and let me create one more package for the approach 2, and let me close all these things. Let me say lab approach 2. So this is the package what I have. So let's say that I'm going to remove everything. So let's say that I have two interfaces. This is interface 1 and the finish, and other interface, that interface 2. This is interface 1 and interface 2. In interface 1, let me have the method known as public void uh, interface 1 method. Okay, and let me add one more. Okay, so similarly interface method has two methods, and that is my interface 2 method and my method 2. Okay, so let's create one more class, so which has this interface as the parameters. So I'm going to name it as, okay, C1 class. The C1 class, it has, let's say that it has the method, so it has the 2. Okay, so it has the, let's say that it has the interface 1 and so as one parameter, and interface 2 as other parameter. Previous example we have seen only with one parameter, so here we are trying with the two parameters. So inside it, so using these values, I can definitely call the both methods. So the method present in the interface, this is interface method 1. Similarly, I can using the interface 1, I can call the method 2. Similarly, using the interface 2, I can call the So what I can call the interface method 2.1 and interface method 2. Okay. So the methods present inside the interface. These are the two methods present inside the interface 1, and these are the two the methods present inside the interface 2. Okay. So I can call this thing. I can call. So let's say that I want to create an object. I want to create the object for this thing and to call this method C1. Okay. So for this, let me write an app. Let me write the main method. This is the main method. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, this is also using the anonymous inner class. So I'm going to say new of C1. So using the C1, so I'm going to call the C1 method interface. How many methods I have the C1? I have only one method, it is C1. So I'm going to call the C1 method. Okay. So but it's expecting two interfaces, not just one. You can see interface 1, and once you provide this, here it's expecting interface 2, interface 1 and interface 2. So that's the thing. So we need to pass two interfaces. So what I'm going to do is, even here I'm going to follow the same approach. I'm going to place enter. Okay, so this aspect, I'm going to bring the clothing parameters to the level of C1 method. Okay, C1 object. So inside it, here for the C1, first of all, what we're going to do is, I'm going to say new and control space. So it's directly taking me to the interface 1 anonymous inner type. I'm going to select this, so it has overwritten all this method represented. So the second one, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say new control space. So it's going to ask me for the anonymous inner type for the interface 2. So you can see it has overridden all the methods. It has come up with all the override methods. So let me remove the semicolon. So that thing is going to remove all the errors. You can see now I don't have any errors. So this is how we are going to use the anonymous inner class for the, so whenever we are calling any the method which has the interface as a parameter. Okay, so using this method you can write anything. Okay, that's the approach 2, using anonymous, using the inner class. This is the using the anonymous inner class. Okay, so coming to the third approach. Coming to the third approach, I'm going to follow one more trick. Here I'm going to follow the Java 8 Lambda expressions. So I'm going to follow the Java 8 Lambda expression. So let me show you how to use it. Okay, so let me close all this stuff. So let me copy it from approach 2. Let me say this approach 3. And let me remove the main class. So let's say that I have an interface. This is a single interface. I have the interface with the, let me first of all, let me take only one interface, one method. Let's say that it has only one method. Okay, then in the C1 interface, let's say that I'm calling the C1 method. Let's say that I need to call the C1 class C1 method by passing the my interface. Okay, so this is the thing. what I have. So let me jump on and start creating the main class. This is my main class. Okay. So here, first of all, let me directly create it. So once I get the object, then I'm going to say call the C1 method. So here it's expecting interface. Okay. So using the for the approach 2, we have used anonymous inner class. So the anonymous inner class, the main advantage here is we don't need the class name. We don't need the class name. It's not at all required. Okay, let me show you one example what we have done. Like app.java. Okay. Here, if you look at things, here we are nowhere concerned about the class name. Okay, so the class name is nowhere required. That's the thing. Okay, here the class name is not at all required. We're directly calling the new of methods and saying that. So wherein in the lambda expressions, if you look at the lambda expressions, here we don't require class name along with the method name also. So we are nowhere concerned about the methods and the name. We are directly going to call. So let me show you how. So for the lambda expressions, what we need to do is, this is approach 3. In the lambda expressions, first of all, we need to write the method. For the method, I have created the parenthesis, open any parenthesis, then hyphen. So this is for the lambda expressions, then control space. Then I'm going to say control space. So when I say control space, so when I say control space, here I can write whatever I want. Okay, here I can write whatever I want directly on the, I can directly without mentioning the class name. So here I have not even mentioned any in what class. So directly I will get parenthesis. This is for the class name. So here, instead of writing the method name, directly I'm going to write the content, thinking that I'm writing inside the method. Okay, thinking that I'm writing something inside the method, I'm going to write a few statements. Let's say that, let me write this statement. Fit out, I'm going to say okay. So let me remove this semicolon. Now, why? Okay, this should be in double quotes. And okay, double quotes. So let me run and try. Wow, I got the hello boss. That's a really great thing, man. So let's say I need write multiple expression. So I'm going to use flower brackets. So inside the flower brackets, the how many statements I want, I will write those many statements. Okay. So I can write multiple statements here. Okay. Here, this is the class name. This indicates the class name. Here, it's not required to mention anything. So here in the lambda expressions, the class name and the method name is not required. Okay. So thinking that we are writing inside the method, we are going to write this thing stuff. So the same thing is going to get displayed there. Okay. The cmain method, it's looking for an interface, and we are using lambda expressions to pass the values. If we don't know the method name, so here the method name and the class name is not at all required. This looks good. Okay. So the other important point to be noted here is, if you look at the interface, this is the functional interface. So what do you mean by functional interface? So Lambda expressions works for, so Lambda expressions works only if the interface is a functional interface. What do you mean by functional interface? Any interface can be called as a functional interface if it has only and only one method. So here, if you look at this thing, look at our interface. Here we have only one method. So let's say that, let me create one more method. One more, let's say it has one more method with the name 2. So when I created the other method, this cannot be a functional interface. Okay, because it has two methods. So if it has one method, then it can be called as a functional interface. We can also add annotation known as functional control space. Why we are not getting? Yeah, control interface. We can add this annotation. Okay, for the functional interface, we can add this annotation known as @functional interface, but it's optional. Even though if you don't mention it, it's not. It's fine. Okay, so mentioning things as a functional interface or not, it's up to us. So if it has a one method, then it will be automatically called as a functional interface. Then it's not required. Okay, but it is up to us. So let's say that, let me add one more interface. Let me add one more method. So when I add one more method here, see, we are getting error. Let me place the cursor there. So it's saying that invalid @functional interface annotation. My interface is not a functional interface. Okay, because we have multiple methods. So let me remove this. I need to remove this. So it will be go away. So now the error will go away because there's no more a functional interface. So if you want to add the annotation on a functional interface, then definitely you need to remove. Definitely you need to have only one method. Okay, so that's the importance of the functional interface. Functional interfaces, the Lambda expressions works only on the functional interfaces. So let's try another example using these Lambda expressions. So let me minimize this and copy the same package and paste it there. Let me close everything here. So this is approach 3. Let me copy the same package. This time I'm going to say 33 and say OK. So here I have the, let's say that I have the interface, and this is the functional interface, and then we can also remove this. It's up to us. Okay, or else I will keep it. And let's say that we have the C1 method, and which is having the parameters as a interface, and we are calling the interface method. So this is calling inside, it's calling the interface method. Okay, so let me go to the app. So let me make few modifications. Let's say that my interface is doing some work. What is that? It is adding two numbers. It's the addition of two numbers. So here, once I'm going to come here, I'm going to say control space. Okay, this is the add method, right? So inside the add method, what it's going to do is it's going to add. So let's say that my interface is an int type, and this requires two parameters. One is int a, another is int b. So if that's the case, say add and add. So it's expecting two parameters, this and this. Okay. let me create a local, no. So let me pass the values. Let's say that I'm passing the values here itself, 20, to integer values, and I'm assigning it to the add. So value. So I'm printing that value here. Let's say that this method is doing this stuff. It's passing the interface as a parameter and interface parameter as a method known as add. In the add, we are passing two values, and it's storing the value, and then it's printing. Let's say this is what it's doing. In the app class, what we need to do is we have already created the method to C1, and then using the C1 object, I'm going to call the C1 interface. The C1 interface, I need to write the interface, right? So I'm going to remove this, write the parenthesis. The parenthesis is a good practice. So what I'm going to say is this parenthesis expecting is expecting, here we need to write the logic. Okay, here we need to write the logic. So what I'm going to say here, I'm saying that when we add x plus y, so I can, instead of a and b, you can also write any other values. So I'm saying x, when x comma y are passed, so this is a method, right? I'm passing two methods. I want him to do x plus y, return that value. So here indirectly it's going to have the return this x plus y. So what I'm saying is whenever we pass these two values, two integer values, okay, so I'm saying to add this and return it. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So let me run it. So we are getting 30 value. So we are getting 30 here. So let me talk one more time about this. So here, let me go to C1 class. The C1, let me talk about interface. Interface has a method known as add, so which is taking two values, int a and int b, integer values, and its return type is int. Okay, and we have a C1 method which has the method known as C1 method, and it's taking the int my interface as a parameter. So after taking the parameter, using this parameter, I am calling the method known as add. But the add is accepting two values. What are they? That is 20, and let's say it's accepting two integer values. So I have passed the two integer values here. So once they're passed, I am saving that, calling the method. I'm saving inside the value. So then I'm printing it. So this is the logic what I have. I'm just passing the values. Okay. So here I'm just calling the method and passing the values. But the logic, what to do, I'm writing inside the main class. So using the Lambda expressions, I'm creating a function. What to do? Here simply I'm calling the method, just calling the method. But the implementation method I'm writing inside the main method. Here what I'm doing is I'm going to create the C1 class. So using this C1 method, inside this my interface, I'm writing the logic. I'm writing the function, what to do, using the Lambda expression. So what is the function is, when you pass these two values, you need to return x plus y. You need to add x plus y, and then return this. So this is the logic what we have written. Here this is the functionality what we are saying to do. So we are saying to add this two number and return it. So where we are passing these values, we're calling say C1 plus. So we have already passed the values here. Okay. My interface dot add, we are passing the values here. We are just passing the values methods, but the logic what to do here saying is we are writing it here. So that's the reason why. So let's say that let me add 10 plus 10 here. Let me come to main method and let me say here. What happened? I'm passing two values 10 plus 10. It should do addition and then send it. Why it's not printing? Okay. New of C1. Okay. Using C1. Calling the method. So method, inside the method, I'm passing the two values, that is two integer values, x comma y. Then I'm saying to add. Okay. Yeah, now we got the values 20. Okay, let's say that, let me write the functionality to minus. So here I'm writing the functionality. So I'm saying that when you pass two values to the method C1, I'm saying whenever we pass the two values to the method values, so you need to do subtraction. So let me run this. Now I should get 0, 20. How is that possible? 10 minus 10, right? Okay. I should get 0. Yeah, that's what I got. Okay, I did not save it properly. So that's the reason I got that. So let's say that I'm saying that whenever you pass these two values, whenever you pass the x comma y values to the C1 method, you need to do this operation. Let's say that let me say that I want to multiplication. Let me run this. So 10 into 10 is equal to 100. So the whatever functionality you want here, you can write it in the lambda expression, and then that thing is going to return the value whenever you call it. Okay. So these are the three different approaches. Okay. That's all for now. Thank you.